I think back 10 years ago, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I was going to get to shop for a living, I would have laughed in your face. I totally would have. But the journey of YouTube, of flipping items, painting items, making items new, starting off at Goodwill's, buying items, Goodwills in our area have changed so much. I don't even get any film in Goodwills. I don't find stuff to make over. Though I don't live in the town where I was going every day. Maybe that makes the difference. But I will make a special trip to a Goodwill. I'm like, let me just find 3 items on the shelf to make over. Just 3. I just want 3 to make over. And I can't find even one. Where are they? What is everybody making items over? Are they throwing the items over? I'm looking for wooden, I'm looking for vintage. Um, I don't maybe I'm pickier. I don't know, but we didn't have an auction this weekend, so there was I don't think I don't, there just wasn't any that were spiking our interest. So we did a little bit of antiquing, Chris and I, and on the way up we were going to Schoolcraft because I wanted to go to the Yummy Schoolcraft antique store that's only open on Saturdays from 11 to 4. But it is good. They have ironstone and breadboards and vintage Christmas, all my yummies all in one. And I think it was like a month ago. Now the Schoolcraft antique stores, there's 3 of them. When they're all open, it's hard because one's open at 10, one's not open till 11. It makes it hard for people to shop in that town. I'm just saying it because they're not all consistent of being open, but that's their vibe. They know their clientele. That's all how it happens. So of course we wanted to wait until they were all open at the same time on a Saturday, no auctions. And on our way up, I'm like, I was missing the yummies that I was afraid somebody was buying when I wasn't there, but we found some estate sales on the way. There was a whole new subdivision on a lake on the way up that had 2 estate sales, some garage sales. And so the next thing you know, we're doing that, and we found some great treasures. Though I didn't really film there either. You just don't know. Like, you don't know if you have your camera out and ready, or and then a lot of the estate sales I film at, when I do go to estate sales, I'm like, I've already chatted, I've met the estate sale company, they know I'm going to film, we kind of have this connection. There's all that, so a lot of times I'll just do quick little blurps for my social media. So follow me on Facebook, y'all, if you are not, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you like to watch little quick reels of little blurps. But I guess I didn't get my fix. I didn't get enough fix. So I'm like, you know what? I need to go sourcing. We had our 20th year anniversary at Hog Creek. Our booths were 20% off. A lot of the sales happening. It was a great turnout Saturday and Sunday, but I needed stock. I needed stock to sell and whatnot. I needed stock for the booth. So I've been getting messaged a lot. 3 minutes into the video, I've been getting messaged a lot about this antique store that's they say it's near Fort Wayne. Now, we're not close to Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne is, even though we go there to auctions in that Indiana area, it's over 2 hours away, from where I live. And then I know I mentioned so it's Markel, exit 286 in Markel, Indiana. So it's, I don't know, like 20 minutes from Fort Wayne. So my GPS, because I am not a highway driver, it was 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I know I've mentioned to Chris a couple times, and he's just like, oh, but what if it's not good? That's true. What if you go 2 hours and 40 minutes and you show up and it's not good? Now, the messages all said it was good. And I did believe you. I met a lot of people at auctions or other sales who are like, oh, you need to check this out. We sell here. You need to check this out. I've been here. This is totally your vibe, Yvonne. You need to go there. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to hit it. Usually Mondays aren't terribly busy. So it makes filming a little bit easier. On Saturdays, a lot when you're in antique stores, it's usually very busy. It's very hard to film. And when I walked in and they had primitives like in the first 6 booths, I was like, oh, my pocketbook, my pocketbook. Ramen noodles this week, baby. Sorry, Chris, you're gonna just be eating some of those cheap noodles. It's our cholesterol, or what salt make? What does salt make happen to you? Anyway, it was wonderful. So I was looking at things. I'm like, okay, so what would I pay if I would have went to an auction? What would I have paid? Because it is you the deals. Everybody's like, oh, shopping at an antique store for sourcing, but everybody gets things differently at prices, or they were able to go to a sale or a garage sale, and so their cost and all that. There's all these different things that go into it. So I was looking at the mindset of like, if I was an auction and I wanted that item, what would my top dollar be? Because I do have a top dollar. Yeah, so I got 5 boxes full of yummies. I have a whole table. I have a whole table to show you from the antique stores that we went to. We went to the 3 in Schoolcraft, where I bought something every time. And then we went to Farmer's Gray, which is a Battle Creek, and she's kind of the same way. She's not open as often as I would like it when I'm going through. She's more of a weekend opener. It says Thursday through Saturday, but sometimes she's off picking, so sometimes you go and then it's not open, but their ironstone garden, everything, English crockery, the whole thing. That's my vibe, y'all. So we just happened to be able to hit that because we were on our way to go to Horrocks to buy, even though you've seen this after Father's Day, we were getting some yummies to cook for Father's Day. But I got a lot. I don't know what to show you first. You see the oars? Yes. These oars, it was at a lake. The estate sales were a lake, and there was 2 sets of these oars that were chippy paint. So, of course, and then they have metal tipped. So it's a set. I've never sold oars, but I know I've told you guys before that we were in a lake community. We're Hog Creek. So I look at those as decor. They had another wooden, but I'm like, Chris, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to sell because I have stocked my outdoor booth so much that I'm like, I better calm down because you just love buying all that stuff. So there were that. I'm going to just pick up a couple of the big items. I knew it was going to be a good estate sale. They were 50% off on Saturday. God wink moment. God put this in their path. And the first thing I saw was Grace. A true vintage Grace. Oh my gosh, the praying man, yes. Just needs dusted. Absolutely. This is still highly sought after every version. Chris got some resell. I know Chris got, so this is a neon. There's a neon back behind here, and it's just a bar Michelob vintage light. That is neon. You got to be careful. And yeah, I don't remember what the price was, but it was 50% off. So I think I'm just going to take the camera down because I got a lot of smalls. I got a lot to show you. If you like a good haul, you all, it is a good haul, a very good haul. Yes, if you saw my social media, she had really good marmalade. I bought 4. 4. I bought 4. Oh my gosh. Look at that staining. These are good ones. I don't know. Oh, I'm like, you if you see one in somebody's booth, you're like, oh. But then you see there was 5. I left one that was cracked and chipped a little bit more than the other. I felt like I was being greedy. Like, okay, that makes me nervous to ship. And am I going to keep them? Am I And then she did have a bloater's paste. Crazed. These are England. These are from England. They're not, you don't find them, y'all. So when you see them in somebody's booth, yes, your heart skips a beat. It just does. You're like, oh, I see one. They were lucky enough to find one. And then you see all of it and you're like, oh, And then in another person's booth, some people don't know that they would have had paper labels later on in their lives. And so this is a marmalade jar too. They just had it as a crock type of, look at that staining and crazing. Those are ones I want to save actually to put labels on. And then I found, I can't remember if I got this one in our booth or if I got it in somebody else's booth, but this is another, I wish you could see the England, but you can't really. A big old one. Yes. The English crockery. Like I said, it's not here. So it's traveled here. It's traveled over an ocean and it's made it here. I guess I am picking stuff up. Yes, I got 2 ironstone sugar dishes with the lids. Beautiful. This one is a Turner and Tompkins. And then this one is a Meakin. Nice, beautiful white. They just had these butter scoops all over the place. I'm like, you guys are so lucky to have so many. So I was trying to pick and choose which ones I wanted to pick up there. I did get one ironstone pitcher. It has USSB. If you all know what that stands for, United States. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's a USSB. But I did get the bread knife, the horsehair patina brush. Only one wooden spoon did I find that was cost efficient. I can't believe I found another one of these. Can you see it? So it's like I bought out of Whatnot, and it's to hold apples. Back in the 80s, they sold it to hold apples. And I just sold one. By the time you see this, I just sold one on my Whatnot. I don't know what it ended up. I sold that with butter pats, but I may just sell this one all by itself because I found another one. What is the chances? You just never know. And then look at this. Like, so also I'm looking for things that are unique, things that like English crockery you don't find all the time, or things that are handmade, unique. Look at, somebody took a cheese box, put a lid on it, made it into a hanger. That is so cool. Now, if I cut up a cheese box on my YouTube channel and showed everybody how to do that, I would get yelled at. It's fun. Not everybody, but there's always those few comments. Oh, I can't believe you ruined that antique by cutting it in half. But if I buy it, then it's awesomely cool, right? That's how that works. This cute little salvage piece box, I just absolutely loved it. Look at the old paint on the back, even though you don't. But they attached a wire, some old molding. The same with this. There's just something about old wood, little boxes, being able to create vignettes. You can hang it on the wall. You can sit it on the table. Wait till you see this piece. A little green caddy with the little dovetail joints. Oh, who cares that whether, I think that's how it was made. I don't think it lost a piece of wood. It just has the gap in between it. They made things, use things for what they had. They had needed to carry their silverware around. That's what they put in there. A lot of times that's what those were silverware ones. It was funny because I was just telling myself that I hadn't seen any of these, and then I found like 3 different versions. The little pie crimpers, though this is just like a cutting wheel. Because I wanted to started collecting them, and I just had not found any. And I'm like, oh, there they are. There they are. You just never know. And then I just love this little can opener, the wood, the patina of the metal, a little rolling pin. Yes, I got this. Look at, it's a wheelbarrow, and I just happened to find another tomato pin cushion. Yes, I did pick up the little terracotta. They're so cute, you all. Little mini terracottas. Oh, my heart was happy when I saw those. You know, I'm weak for terracotta. I did get a jadeite bowl. And I think why it was cost efficient is, I don't know if you all know this, but this has rust. I don't know if you see the rust buildup. I will just put this in like a tub filled with hot water and iron out and walk away. And by the time with hot water, by the time the water's cold enough, the iron is gone. So a lot of times I'll find these cost efficient because they look at them as damaged. because of the rust buildup on them. And it is as simple as that to take it. You learn in this field how to fix, how to make things better. I mean, I already started my YouTube channel off that way, sharing how to create things out of stuff that people no longer wanted. But then you also share like tidbits like that, like, use some iron out, and it just makes it so much better. So you can look like hammering the bottom of a galvanized watering can, that was left out, that got ice in it, and because it filled up with water and it no longer slits flat, you just hammer it back in. I've bought so many that way, so cheap. I cannot believe my second trip around, I found a whole Cinderella. If this is Crazy Daisies or Spring Blossoms, I always forget. And the price of it, it was cheaper than I probably would have paid at an auction to find a 4-piece set. I would have had to pay up even more at an auction because everybody is looking for stock. Pieces and parts of a butter mold. Wasn't able to afford a lot of them. I did pay up a little bit because this one had the metal. Somebody had rescued it because it had cracked, and I love that story. The perfectly imperfect. Y'all, you're not buying antiques, my style of primitive antiques, because you're looking for perfection. And don't buy from me because I am looking for the perfectly imperfect, the story. They needed to save this. So forever ago, somebody attached a wire to save this. Like the pieces and parts of this one, it's just that. Whether that's all they used or whether it was attached to something at one time, it's cool. It is so cool. Where are we? Oh, I don't even think I showed you this, but I got in a case, which I ended up forgetting the little mini cracks, you guys, because I got distracted by the marshmallow tin. Oh, and this will go on for sale at a Whatnot because I don't do yellow in my decor. And I know you think, but I like, that's my whole shopping. If I keep everything for myself, I don't have anything to sell to you all. But that is a mini. That is a good one. Yellow in my house with my white walls would just stick right out. We all have different vibes, and somebody will be very happy to have that. A little brass mouse. He's got his cute little tail. Pieces and parts. I'm always looking for pieces and parts, and this is an old pulley wheel. And they make great risers. They make amazing risers. I don't mind that it's not complete. I did find one piece of Flow Blue. Seems to be in great shape. Oh, no, there's a little chip right there. I don't know if somebody painted it or you actually see the blue, but there's a little chip. This is old, 1800s, old. And I could not believe when I saw this. If it wasn't for Whatnot and watching Izzy on her crockery shows, she has been selling these fairy lights, and I'm like, oh. So when I saw this purple glass, very early England fairy light is what it is. So they would have put the candle in here. It could have had some wire that hung. I would not have known without watching her show. That's why I love to watch others. They're so knowledgeable. I wouldn't have known what this was because they called it a glass vase. And I'm like, oh, but that was way. It was glass something. I'm not sure if they necessarily called it a vase, but they did not call it like an England fairy light. So this is old. This is from England. It's got flea lights all around the top. But how amazing is that? Like the marmalade, it's not a piece you've ever seen. You don't see them every day. You can't just go in and like, oh, I'm gonna go and I'm going to just find this today. Like I'm just gonna go find that today. You just grab it when you find it because you don't know if you're ever going to see it again. Like these 3 little guys. Oh, my heart was just like, this is the color I tried to match, and then they're minis. I was not leaving them behind. I thought the prices were wonderful on the little mini. So you got the bread, you got the cake, you got the flour. Oh, 2 mini Santa mugs. This cute little bowl, because it's just, littles are amazing. And it was in somebody's booth, just a little primitive bowl. I bought this in the hopes. Little cubby. We love cubbies. Absolutely love cubbies. I won't paint this cubby. I bought it because I was hoping I did buy one spice set, because how I display my spice set. This is an Old Spice, not the clone, y'all, but it has all the yummy wording on it, and I love mine. And I thought, oh, I think that looks big enough, and I only tested one out in the store that you can sit it this way, and then I'm like, I should have went down. I should have, because I guess it'll fit 2 and 2, so it'd fit 4. There's 5 of them, and then you can fill it up with other yummies. But then I'm like, oh, so it will fit 4 of them. Handmade little cubbies. Spice. I love the wording of spice. And this one did say spice on it, so you have 2 separate things you can put in your decor. And then I know this is probably a little bit more modern, maybe out of the 90s, 80s because of the check, but it's still a tiny egg crate. There's not any holders inside. You could cut some up if you wanted to. But I love that it still had the paper label. Talk about canister sets. I hem-hawed, and then I went back my second time around for the green, because I'm like, okay, I know they were all sold separately, but I was telling myself, if I was at auction and these came up, I would bid until I got them. Because as much as a few people out there make fun of me on my green, green is hot. It sells. People love it. It is sought after. Even when I went to the Schoolcraft, I got a whole bunch of green there. He goes, oh, it just came in, y'all. It just came in. So I was like grabbing, like thinking somebody else was going to grab faster than me. This is just an old sieve sifter. I have a smaller one myself. This one, just a little bit different wood, bent wood patina on it. It is a little brokenness, but these are just amazing to hang on the wall, put yummies in. I don't know. I mean, you wouldn't put a tomato, but you totally, when you're hanging it, you can put a little something. I know I'm probably going to run long. I hope you all love to look at stuff. This is like going to Antique Mall. Second time around, I didn't see the washboard that was so inexpensive. Yeah, I collect these. So if it doesn't fit into my decor, it's one of those, you'll resell it. I did pick up the turtle lamp, because I know the price point that I can sell these for in my booth. I don't really like to ship these. I don't like to ship glass and metal, y'all. That's just how that is. I'm like, oh, who came up with the idea? We have to create boxes as people who ship, and we have to figure out how to get it to you safely. And then doing glass and metal, no thank you, please, no. I couldn't afford a lot of the pantry boxes, but you all know I love pantry boxes, so I got this little spice one. It's got a little pinkish hue to it, and it's got like tiger eye newer vintage marbles in it, which I'll take out. But the spice ones, this side is hard to find. Now, and along the line, somebody had painted this one, and then this grain measurer, and it might have had, I don't know. I think it would have had a lid. It would have been a pantry. You can kind of see where the paint has faded. You flip them over, you put some decor on them, and this one is red, because not everybody decorates with green with me, but green and red go wonderful together. If you saw my strawberry video where I just did some strawberries, or you follow me at Christmas when I add all my Santa in with my green. And then I didn't grab the other breadboards, but I did get this one. I know it's got a little bit newer, 1950s. I don't know the era. I don't know. I just buy stuff because I love it. Doesn't mean I know all about it. I'll get messages and they're like, well, what's the history? I bought it secondhand. There's not this huge note that comes with something. I don't know. I bought it at an antique store. I bought it secondhand. I bought it, very seldom. There's a slim number of items you actually get any kind of story with when you're buying secondhand. So that's really hard. But I loved it because I painted breadboards to look vintage and have that side like that. It's just that aged wood, the little paint, awesome. This thing is amazing. Whether they're all glued in there, I think that they are, that somebody took the time to glue a whole bunch of spools. Look at all those spools. I think it's glued. I didn't care. It was grabbed like somebody was going to take it before me when I was in the booth by myself. I think it's amazing. It's just a whole bunch of old industrial spools somebody had made along the line into a decor piece. Oh, I'm sure you could pop something like little greenery and stuff, but I thought it was good. Oh, I thought it was so good. I've got one more piece. When I was getting lost, I'm like, where am I here? There's this old wood, great riser, great place to gather, great backdrop. It's got a nice little edge to it. Yet again, not anything I'm going to make over or anything like that. Okay, we're going to go to the next table because I know I hope you just love to look at stuff because I love to share it. Well, and I didn't want to leave the Schoolcraft antique malls out because they are wonderful. They are wonderful, and and it's one of those honey holes that you're like, well, I don't want to tell you how good it is. I don't want y'all going there and buying all the stuff that I want, but that is what we do. 50% off day though. They had this firm. It is a hummingbird stained glass Tiffany style lamp. Still at the price they were charging. I know what I can get for them, especially with it being the hummingbird. The hummingbird and the dragonfly is very cool if you can get your hands on that. He said he got a whole bunch of green in, and he did. This is just a red box. It's actually even deep, like, you could have done a scoop and done your flower. I don't know. I'm making up the story. I was trying to see what else green I got from there. It was some more little spice tins with the green tops, which then motivate, that's the other thing is like I look at stuff like this and I look at the stash of items that I have. And figure out how I can make them, over. These are always my inspiration pieces. A random garage sale. It's green 4-H. I think, my kids were in 4-H and they didn't do that. These were all vintage. They didn't do the FFA and the 4-H member, hard plastic that you would have put this in your window. I don't know what it represents. Look at so the kid had written on the back of his, so he drew a picture. But that's a story, you leave it. But I thought, my kids they never got anything cool like that from 4-H. They got lots of other cool things, but they worked their butt off for them. There was that. And then this was the estate sale. Enamelware with the lid, bean pot. Yes, these little dustpans I'm still selling them, so I'm going to pick them up. A sifter sieve I got in Schoolcraft. These are just great decor pieces, y'all. Great patina. Another Schoolcraft was this painted blue bale handle pantry box, no lid. But along the lines, somebody painted it blue, and it's amazing. I will say that about every piece. It's amazing. This is amazing. Everything's amazing because I just love it all. And then I was chatting with her too, and she's like, she didn't know if it was a grain scoop or a pantry box. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure just the way that it was folded over. And a lot of times the grain scoops would have been reinforced a little bit more with metal or a thicker wood. And since this is a little bit thinner wood, I would think that it's a pantry box. There again, I'm not an expert. I'm just going with my guesstimate. And then I absolutely love these little spools, great little Christmas items because they look like little trees. So I picked those up. One of the pressed tin. This one actually holds a candle. I bought them that they have been electrified. I don't think I've ever bought a pestle and mortar before, but I love the patina of this wood. Crockery jug at a estate sale. A little kitty. We're going for a kitty playing on a pumpkin. The old chocolate molds. Oh, I need to bring it closer. Didn't pick everything up. Yes, two-handled cookie butter presses. Great patina. They had a cow, but the cow was not in my price. I wanted it so bad. I bought a ginger jar to put in a label. I love doing the water slides, so I'm going to do that to it. Some cute little, this was at one of this, this was in Schoolcraft. She called them olives. They're just, I don't know if they're dried or plastic, but they're green. That's all it took for me is that they're green. The estate sale had the bluebird, probably pottery. I can't really see the stamp, but it's a little pitcher and plate set. Locally, because somehow my car always just drives into the antique stores. Locally, she was just putting up. It's another vendor. I was in the Allen barn, but and she also has a booth where I'm at Hog Creek, and she was just putting out 2 tomato spoons. And then I love these decorative sugar, I call them sugar spoons, because they look great coming out of a crock. Hold on, I lost a weight. You'll see. Oh, I knocked over the weight again. You'll see what the weight is in a second. I know. Have you all turned off yet? Or are you still curious of what I got? I know this is probably could have made 2 videos, but I didn't take any video at the. So it's a little bitty scale, and it's big when they still have all 4 weights. Usually they have been lost. Does that sound like butter pats to y'all? Because it is. It's butter chunky. Now they're not all white. They all have some kind of a transfer wear pattern on them, but they're the big chunky ones. Oh goodness. And we got a stained, crazed transfer wear ironstone dish. A little butter press. These are hard to find, even harder to find. So this was at Schoolcraft. These 3 were at Schoolcraft. I left the first time I was there, and they're English crockery. I think they're all cream. So this one, unfortunately, it's a little smeared, but it is what it is. And a lot of people don't know what they are, so they kind of just sit there. If you don't collect it or you haven't watched anybody to learn, you just think, oh, it's just an advertising, but they come from England. So that's huge. To me, that's huge. Oh. And I got this little creamer, which is as cute as can be, but I also got an elephant here. And if you know, these are very sought after. And it almost, like Chris was noticing, and I think he's right. I think there's a shape. Do you see that? I don't know if it's a serpent. It's not. I don't think it's an elephant. They're called elephant ear because there's no gap. I don't know. Do you think it's an elephant ear? There's almost a face in it. I am studying it way too hard going cross-eyed, but it's a good one. It's a very good one. A couple other creamers at a couple of the sales were some green restaurant wear creamers. This I got at the Schoolcraft one. This is also another England crockery. I don't know much about this one. I just loved the graphics of it all. It is chippy. This is their trash. And we're excited to have it. Another piece of their trash. Another marmalade would have had the paper label. Like I said, I'm looking to put some labels on them because I thought they were really pretty. Yeah, I want to learn the technique even more by doing more. We got a Santa mug. Look, Santa mugs all year long, Christmas all year long, holidays all year long. When you find it, look at these little tags still in the package. They're little seals. You would have it came out. Look at that. It's got it's velvety, it's furry. It's so cool. This I thought was so cool because I recognized it right off the bat as a cold cream jar, and then somebody along the line had made a little scene on it. So it was an English cold cream jar, and they had done that to it. I'm probably going to do a Christmas in July sale because you cannot have too many butter pats. You cannot have too many butter pats ever. A couple little, I think I got these at Farmer Gray. Little soap dishes, trinket dishes, bone dishes, all white. Locally, a couple flower frogs because, my eye likes what my eye likes, and hopefully y'all like them too. Another little crimper. I got this in Schoolcraft. Locally, I just picked up this, and I'm attracted to the little Bibles. This one is German, but it's actually a song book. I don't know German. I don't speak German, but look at the date inside, y'all. See, this isn't the same if I just would run the camera. I just got to show you. And I did get another little, like I said, I'd like to have a little garden show on whatnot. So I'm trying to collect things for that. And then I've actually bought these from this vendor before, and they're just garden tags, and they're in green, and they say a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm pretty sure that they were made from old shutter parts. That's what it feels like to me. It's like it would have been an old wooden shutter. They took it out and they made garden stakes for it. An amazing flower frog, as if flower frogs are not amazing in their own. They are. They are so amazing at every time. Another little English crockery jar. Oh wait, like I said, I usually always get them because you don't find them. I love lambs. I think these are Italy. This one says Italy. So they're just two little very delicate lambs. If you can't find the putts, that's pretty good. Another ironstone sugar with the lid. This one is a Johnson Brothers. Love these. You could just put the lids in a clear thing and then just fill them up with silverware, brushes, spools, anything, tile berries. And this was a garage sale, but Chris said green, and it was a little birdhouse. That's all it took. This cloche is amazing. This is a garden cloche. See how thick it is? The bubbles, how it was cut off. I probably saved that for my greenhouse. You save things for items you don't have. I don't have a greenhouse. I want a greenhouse. Doesn't mean I'm going to get a greenhouse. But I'm saving items for it in case I get one. Come on. Don't tell me y'all don't do that. I got a terracotta bunny at an estate sale. So he's so cute. I like to put him in my decor because I do a little bit of terracotta. I don't know if the original purpose was for terracotta pots, but you put terracotta in, a little rusty, crusty caddy, and there again, like I said, I want to have a garden show. So I was like, I'm liking that. Yeah, there was a watering can one of the ladies had, and I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched it, and then when I decided that I was going to do a garden show, I went back to get it, and it sold. It was the sprinkle one, which if you look, runs good money on eBay. Got a couple of these little rusty crusty decor pieces. Look at it's a little chicken feeder. Fill that bad boy up with some Oh, that's exactly when I saw it. I knew exactly what would be beautiful in here, and it is. It is. I've never seen a little chicken feeder like that. Usually, they all have little. It probably had a cage over at one time. In Schoolcraft, found this random spigot. This little brass frog. Oh, he's so cute. I've seen like birds and hummingbirds and stuff like that, but I've never seen the frog. And you just take the whole spigot off. That's how that works. And then I bought quite a few of these from Farmer's Gray. She had just got back from Europe, so I don't know if these came from Europe. But I guess I don't know if they're assuming that they're broken off pieces of watering cans. But when do you see a stack of a whole bunch of these? Look at the green. So I did keep a couple for myself, but I also bought some to resell. There's so many yummies. Some American flags and some more terracotta pots, and I think that will finish up my haul. Doesn't, because I got another little children's dry rack there again. If you're like ironstone saucers would fit in here. If you want the little butter pats would fit in here. Yeah, that's how I am. And then I thought this was very unique. Very, as a masher goes, that was very unique. Let me skim. Let's see if I missed anything this time. Anyway, thank you for hanging with me. Yes, I know this video is long. There was so much good stuff.